Hi everyone, welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. We're here at Emperor's Palm. Eufrates II is where we were sent by the Inquisitor, where, according to the Inquisitor, we get to meet Roland the Cruel, and finally we meet up with Conrad Voigtveer again. But first, we've got to get to the planet. Lord Captain, the United Corps of the Explorators and the Militia Force is ready to attack the heretics who took over Eufrates II. The commanders recognize the Lord Inquisitor's sanction and agree to cede the right of supreme command to you. They ask that you summon a council of war in order to establish a plan of attack. How should we respond? Summon them to the bridge and hold a council. Consider it done, your lordship. I'll notify the commanders you are ready to meet them. Excuse me. Hopefully all the petty squabbles will go away. And I don't mind helping them out because that means I can get to the planet. Kill Conrad Voigtveer and take over. Oh, it's Opticon is back. The leader of the Explorator warriors appears on the bridge, and the deck trembles beneath his metal gate. He's acquired a new set of fearsome armour since the last of you last met. And his mechadendrite is now fitted with more formidable weapons of destruction. Unit Opticon 22 initiating identification official greeting procedure. Unlocking the option of strategic data exchange. And Thorvald Ironhide, the Emperor's Angel, who follows in his wake, is clad in armour, the colour of tempestuous ocean. You hear his voice, throaty and brimming with untamed boldness and strength. Which one of you Huskars is Jelly Bob Sloan Valancius? I am Thorvald Ironhide. I wish to see the mortal who has been granted the honour of leading my pack into battle. Opticon, how did you go from overseeing logistics to commanding armies? This command promotion hierarchy status update was executed following the death, decommission and deconstruction of the ship Teeth of the Rathgear. The fleet's war conclave was operating aboard that vessel. Unit Opticon 22 received premature rank promotion and modernization to Magos Dominus based on an extensive catalogue of recorded combat engagements. Wow. Kept that one quiet. From Pascal. May your service benefit from the updated protocols that were bestowed upon you, and the new analytical data that was entrusted to your elucidation. May the Omnissiah Guard operate this unit in his core's mission algorithm of his service to him. Let's commence. I'm not talk to him and ignore the Space Marine. What good is another war council with a cog priest who knows not the joys of battle, cuts off his parts and places them at augments to please his all-knowing master? He will propose again a cowardly plan unworthy of warriors as the custom of his brethren. Registering a display of impertinence stated insufficiency in regard to the military craft eradication methods of the Adeptus Mechanicus. This is the Inquisitor forces. Ishara. I have another fight, gentlemen. How predictable. A woman in heavy armour walks onto the bridge, cloaked in the air of superiority. You've seen her before, in the retinue of Xavier Calcazar when he barged into your chambers after your Magna Accessio. Excuse me. Thank you for not starting without me. Acolyte Ishara, dispatched by the Lord Inquisitor to facilitate the operation on Eufrates II. My role in this war council is that of an advisor. The silky whisper weaves words into a kind of unholy pattern in your mind. Minions of a false god are blind in their faith, no unity among them. They will never learn the truth, but you will. I will show you the path, child of the dawn. But in order to walk the path, you must hide our intentions behind a facade of loyalty to the corpse emperor. For now, learn about the false believer's plan and prepare. Now it's time to listen. The time to act will come later, and when it comes, I will tell you. Say nothing. You feel the intrusive presence recede to the periphery of your mind. Divide its time there. Hynix? He's not here. That's a bug. Hynix is out in the middle of space, apparently. Where there's all this corruption. And the metal cages. Hynix and Shaw exchange glances, but there's also a word. You cannot help but notice the furrow that forms on the interrogator's forehead at the sight of his colleague. Shall we begin our war council, or shall we wait for the heretics to corrupt this planet completely? Shara, why are you here? The Lord Inquisitor entrusted me the task of forging an alliance between the assembled fleet and the forces of the Koronus fleet. Once this task is complete, I'm to act as an observer and a special operative. I see. Acquire a full report. Eufrates II is a forge world. Manufactorums and extractiums take up most of its surface. When corrupting them, disrupting their production algorithm, the heretics enhance their ranks with possessed mechanisms and false defective traitorous Skitari, whose protocols were disfigured with indoctrinated scrap code. Our forces have secured minor footholds on the surface, but are unable to deliver effective blow to the headquarters operations center of the profaners in the Machine Cathedral at the heart of the Manufactorum Soma S-13. According to the available data, this is the current location of the arch-heretic termination target, the Dark Apostle, Ulan the Cruel. We may outnumber the enemy, but ours is a poor warband. All it has is steel cars of the Omnissiah and scantily trained serfs from across the expanse, while our foe is the detestable, but nevertheless deadly putrid-hearted traitors from the ranks of the word bearers, and their vessel protects the Machine Cathedral from orbit. I'm just going to have a coughing fit. Back in a sec. Okay. Hopefully that will sort it out for a bit. Why have you still not commenced the planetary assault? There is a conflict, critical error, categorical lack of understanding of the imperatives of this operation within our chain of command. Unit Thorvald Einheid is in favour of a strategy of mass destruction, which would constitute an unacceptable violation of the right of operation. Every square metre of the manufactorums is sacred, of high productivity value. Which is why the Cog Priest is so intent on hindering and sabotaging our assault by refusing us forces and landing Drekars. But Thorvald Einheid won't fight on terms of peace. If my battle plan is rejected, Omnissiah's servants can retake the planet themselves. Maybe they think their lives mean nothing compared to their precious cathedrals, but the wolf knows what his life is worth. On 2022, I must say my curiosity is piqued. The Explorators are hiding something on that planet, something you refuse to show to anyone, and now loathe to destroy. What is it? Tech Priest Vox creaks dumbly, request denied. Omnissiah's mysterious procedures conducted on Eufrates II are to remain undisclosed according to the protocol vow of preservation of the hallowed from the profane. This is why on Fenris we have priests follow the warriors, not the other way around. The priests will never think about the battle ahead, only the tenets and taboos. But a wolf must think only of the battle and his enemy's deaths, not about preserving cathedrals, or counting the trophies that await him. Opticum, what do you propose our plan should be? Our strategic analysis points to a full-scale offensive as the optimal course of action. The losses among the troops, insignificant personnel, laity, will be numerous, but will not exceed acceptable parameters. Replenishing such losses will be arduous, but repairing the damage that may otherwise come to the will be less arduous than repairing the damage that may otherwise come to the manufactorums. Jesus Christ. Words. Theobald, what would you do if you commanded this operation? I'll drain down vengeful skies upon the enemy. I'll plough the land of Eufrates II with shells, shatter their defences, level the fortified towers, and throw their host into disarray. And in that whirlwind of fury, I will lead my glorious pact to pave a path of blood for the codcurls. I've heard your opinions. Choose your strategy wisely. It's not every day you get to heed the advice of a seasoned warrior, one chosen by the All-Father himself to bring death to the foes of humanity. You two do not get along too well, do you? You read hearts that have been inscribed with runes. He let out a mocking chuckle. 'Tis true, my brothers and I grow tired of the cod priest and his naysaying. For whatever reason, he thinks himself our lord. I concur with this statement, given that the military action, Sacred Purgative Crusade, eradication procedure is taking place on a world devoted to the machine god. Unit Opticon 22 assists on its privileged status in the matter of strategy selection. Heresy runs rampant on Eufrates II. You two would rather waste all your strength on bickering. Then you are nothing but fools. Thorvald's face turns purple. They cannot come up with a retort. Opticon 22 lolls his head repentantly, lets out a barbaric trill. Neither of them can find the words to rebuff your pointed accusation. I shall now present to you the plan of our assault on Eufrates II. The first step is obvious. We eliminate the Machine Cathedral's orbital support. But what planetary assault strategy will you choose following the destruction of the enemy void fleet? Begin by bombarding enemy's positions, then advance cautiously. Observe our troops. Your plan bores me. It's not the Space Wolves' way of war. Well, we don't have infinite Space Wolves. We have militia. Such cowardly strategies are limited to omnisized codcurls, so you have my approval. Fucking idiots. Surrounded by idiots. Does this update? Yep. That's still annoying me. Do I have people? Yeah. I've only got 9 Xenotech. Keep that. Yeah, do that one. Do that one. Do it. There we go, hold on. Go away, you. Right. We have to go to Dalgonus, don't we? That was Kialvagamo. Okay. The rogue trader's ship took its place in the centre of the attack formation. The right flank was guarded by the sacred combat vessels of the Adeptus Mechanicus, and the left consisted of the combined forces gathered by the Lord Inquisitor, headed by a frigate of the indomitable Space Wolves. The enemy deployed their ships in a wide arc in an attempt to surround the squadron, but the Heretic's plan was not meant to be. Excuse me. Thorvald and Opticon 22 sent their detachments forward, tying up the enemy in combat and presenting the Lord Captain with the chance to deliver a blow to the very heart of the enemy position, where the flagship of these traitors to humanity awaited their final hour.
They They don't know who they're dealing with.
What do we have? The Blasphemous Styx-class heavy cruiser. Wow, it's got a lot of cannons. Right.
Helmsman, take us in. Torpedoes, away! Fire at will.
I jump forward a bit. Hit it again.
Let them taste our fury.
God, just got a fire. I've got one fire. It's got a bit. To put my side shield on, it's going to come up to there to my starboard. Because that's 280, that's 220. Drop in fighters. Well, anything going in there gets destroyed. Okay. Let's see where that ends up. Oh, it's on the back end, good.
Macro cannon, open fire. All hands, prepare for acceleration.
I've already done that one.
Make every shot count.
Just in range.
Engage the engines. Keep up the pressure.
Nice.
Volley.
Oh, beauty. That's not going to do anything to that, is it? Because it's cruiser, yeah. Do my starboard again, I guess. What's that do? Yeah, let's do that. Can I get...
Acceleration.
Ooh, not quite, not quite. Thank you, frigate, for taking all that damage.
Already dead? Pathetic, Ashman.
Salvo.
Still got that extra damage on this side.
Fire at will.
That should be it.
We're helpless under their fire. Do something.
Let them taste our fury.
Nope, that's it. These are on the run out of steam. And put up my port shield. Let's do it. No, I can't do that because I've used that. Okay. I thought there was a restart shield once. Nope. Am I going to run out of fuel?
Coordinates set.
Yeah.
Bloody throne, we did it.
Okay. The general once said that all wars are fundamentally the same. If you've seen one, you've seen them all. Grok shit. The general didn't witness the events in Eufrates II. This is like Corvan Lazarus, Lord General Militant of the Dargon's Planetary Defense Garrison. Rogue trader Jellybolts von Valancius was the supreme commander in that battle, a man of iron will, unfaltering, unshakable. I served in his personal enforcer guard back then, just another cocky kid who thought he was an expert soldier. The Emperor was gracious to me, and gave me a chance to realise just how wrong I was. Most of my comrades didn't get a chance like that. The shuttles would have blocked out the sun if you could have seen it through the smoke of the manufactorum city of Sigma S13. At his heart stood the Machine Cathedral, our primary objective. The Lord Captain showed us mercy by having the landing zone bombarded from orbit. All the shuttles carrying troops, and more importantly, precious vehicles, reached their destination. Daunted by our numbers, the enemy withdrew. That was the perfect moment for a decisive attack. With an armoured vehicle force of this size, we had the upper hand. Command Centre, the Lord Captain ordered his generals to deliver a tactical report to the officers. The best breakthrough point in the Manufactorum Sigma S13 was receiving dock Mu 514, one of the oldest parts of the city whose fortifications and defense systems were starting to show their age. Every approach to it was coded in traps, atomic mines, mechanical mayhem callers, skin-rending archviruses. But we were ready to advance, taking sector after sector, even if it meant throwing our bodies at whatever the enemy had in store for us. Command Center, the Lord Captain, ordered his generals to excuse me, commence a rapid tank assault in accordance with military doctrine armoured wave, devised by Lord Militant Justice Quinn. Our negligible losses during the landing stage gave us enough armoured vehicles for a decisive push against the enemy's positions. We began advance, and never forget the roar of the tank, its treads tearing the Heretics' infantry to pieces, accompanied by the shrieks of lasguns and the rumble of heavy artillery, the deafening symphony of war. Nothing could stop us. We marched in the wake of a column of armoured beasts, not turning to look at the mushroom clouds climbing over piles of enemy bodies and those of our own. We had our orders. Pushing through the ruins of sacred workshops, we looked up with awe upon machines that, up until that point, had remained forbidden to the eyes of the laity. Those were palaces of incredible and frightening technology, voidship assembly halls, alchemical atriums, sacred arsenals, generators producing invisible fields and sent into the mind, and scriptorums containing knowledge of horrors best left undiscovered. Excuse me. In one of the chemical chapels, we came across a shipment of cisterns containing hallucinogenic gas. The tech priests protested that substance was not designed for warfare, that it was created for higher rituals, but the officers wasted no time pumping our artillery shells full of that gas. At last we reached the gates of dock Mu 514, the threshold of the metal nightmare that was Manufactorum Sigma S13. However, the initial attempts to storm the dock shattered against the enemy's defences. Magus Dominus Optica 22 proposed a tech sabotage. We could send a small Skitarii units behind enemy lines and have them subdue the spirits of their area's defence systems. Thorbold, the fierce leader of the Space Wolves, proposed to send infiltrators beyond the walls to kill enemy officers and weaken the dock's defences. The Lord Captain ordered the commanding officer who had led the first assault to present himself to him for a special assignment. Plus 30, Jesus Christ. That was the last time I saw Captain Sawyer, with a figurative bloodied nose from the first assault, as well as actual blood still fresh on his bandages. The hastily patched up captain limped eagerly forward toward the command HQ upon receiving the order. There were no eyewitness accounts of what happened to Captain Sawyer, only rumours and speculation. War was raging all around, and someone going missing is never a surprise in wartime. But for the sake of historical accuracy, I'm going to cite them here, to give you an idea of far-fetched tales that can be bred by the minds of worn-out soldiers facing the unspeakable horrors of the arch-enemy. There was talk of the valiant captain coming to the command HQ and stating his willingness to repeat the assault, only for the Lord Captain to smile and invite him in. There was talk of someone's strangled screams coming from the command HQ, sounding barely human and so loud they could be heard as far away as the rear guard. There was talk of the captain vanishing without trace, and of human viscera found in the command HQ, laid out in strange patterns as though for unholy divination. There was talk of many other things I would rather not recount in writing. The fact, at any rate, is that immediately after the captain's disappearance, we received an order that contained detailed instructions concerning our holes and the dock's defences, the blind spots of turrets, and positions of any patrols and sentries. The information was chillingly accurate, and no one knew where it had come from. However, it was instrumental in the success of the second assault on Dock Mu 514, which was achieved with minimal casualties. It took us many days to break through to the metal heart of the Manufactorum. In the third week of the assault, the vanguard was halted and swept away by a salvo of plasma macro cannons. Scorning every cannon of sacred engineering, the heretics had placed the hull of an unfinished void cruiser on treads several kilometers long. This leviathan of adamantine and plasteel barred our way. Magus Dominus Optica 22 insisted that we retake the sacred machine, for the vessel had been in the making for many decades, and its destruction would have been a great tragedy for the Imperium. It came as a surprise to all that the Space Wolf Thorbold supported the Magus Dominus. After the Lord Captain had reconciled him with the Explorator leader, Thorbold had tamed his pride and spoken in favour of the Tech Priest's cause of liberating the noble machine. (1895-80) Sent scouts to assess the fearsome weapon. That's still 1895-80. The sight was both terrifying and mesmerising. A majestic cathedral designed to cut through the void was instead resting on treads the size of that staggered the imagination. Those treads were grinding buildings into dust. The ship's heavy cannons were incinerating entire tank formations. How could mere mortals hope to defeat a behemoth like that? An entire void ship dropped upon the cruiser from orbit. Oh, you beauty. Let's do this one. Commanded the sacred vessel be reclaimed from the enemy's clutches. Having the sacred machine on our side could have given our offensive a sizable edge. Our orders were to get a landing force to the cruiser's bridge and escort the engineers to the main cogitator. Our shuttles used the turret's blind spot to deploy elite troops on board the cruiser. While they were engaged with the shrieking heretics, the engineers reasoned with the machine spirits of the main cogitator and initiated the blessed purgation protocol of the inner decks. It took us 3 days to drag every last cultist corpse out of the compartments. Slipping on pools of blood mixed with sacred unguents, we made it to the Machine Cathedral, a gargantuan hall breathing with the flames of 1,000 furnaces. The last bastion of the enemy army. That was where I faced the word bearers, betrayers of humanity and unworthy sons of the Emperor. What could we, mere humans, possibly do to match their unholy bestial rage? The Space Wolves at the front, getting slaughtered. The Lord Captain devised a plan that placed the Space Wolves at the forefront of our strike. The Emperor's Angels themselves led the charge that day, magnificent in their rage to force a path for us to follow, and even the appalling champions of the Archenemy could not stop them. While we distracted the enemy with a suppressive fire and a hail of grenades, our unyielding leaders charged the word bearers and tore them to pieces. We were the anvil of his wrath, and they were the hammer. That's when it came, Doom Scream, an ancient and bloodthirsty hellbrood, a merciless executioner forged from the adamantine ceramite. That single foe was repelling our assaults one after the other, turning hundreds of soldiers into bloody pulp. For as long as that abomination lived, we had no hope of reaching the heart of the enemy citadel. The dire-eyed Thorbold volunteered to track down and destroy the vile spawn. But fate had other things in store for him and his brothers. The Space Wolves pack was to be the first to storm the Machine Cathedral. And thus Magus Dominus Opticon 22 assembled a cohort of elite Scitarii, said that he would locate and eliminate Doomscream. The soldiers were whispering that he was unwilling to activate the so-called Guaranteed Annihilation Protocol, a terrible and ominous rite that is lethal to the enemies of the Omnissiah as it is to his faithful servants. On arriving at the front lines, the Lord Captain questioned the survivors who witnessed the ruin that Doomscreen had wrought. Those lucky enough to have escaped with their lives had little to tell us. They remembered a terrible howl hanging in the air and the death machine, impossibly quick for its size, dismembering people and crumpling tanks with its horrific manipulators. This enemy was ancient, devious and utterly mad. The heretic's mind was clouded by rage and hatred. His body was bound by the prison of metal and mutated flesh. Oh, a 58% chance. The Lord Captain led his retinue to hunt down this ancient killing machine himself. Yay! What happened next would become legend. We got an item. It's a bolter. That's a heavy bolter. The Lord Captain, the head of his retinue, challenged the bloodthirsty heresiarch that had crawled out of the darkness of time. He dealt the wicked executioner a heavy and mortifying blow. And thus Doomscreen was routed. The abomination's torn pincer, fitted with an ancient and powerful bolter, became the rogue trader's rightful trophy. I mean, it's pretty good. 10 to 15 damage. Rate of fire 8. Good armor pen. Must be heretical. And have bolter. Weapon proficiency. That's pretty good. At last we reached the Machine Cathedral. We saw a yawning lift shaft left behind by a colossal land-gnawing drill that had burrowed for kilometers to the depths of the planet. There, deep below, lay the last hiding place of the Heretics' leaders. Hundreds of grenades, accompanied by promises of swift judgment, were hurled into the pit. Such was our righteous anger. The planetary assault was a resounding success. The enemy forces were shattered and broken. A small fraction remained in the Machine Cathedral, but the rest either had been destroyed or were destined to meet some inevitable fate soon. The Lord Captain's retinue and the Space Wolves band delved into the shaft, heading toward the heart of the Machine Cathedral. We watched them leave with reverence in our eyes as we were setting up a perimeter around the entrance. We knew what the true outcome of the Battle of Euphrates depended on them, and our fates was there to decide. Yep. How long have I been recording? 37 minutes. Okay. I'll do the cutscene and a couple of fights then. May the energies of the Imperium flow into something. Ulan Quall's doing something here. There's some word bearers. Conrad, there's some tech priests. Ulan Quall. The giant clad in dark crimson armour is in the middle of the sinister litany. His words turn into repulsive ethereal stench and flakes of otherworldly ice. It does not notice your presence. The same cannot be said about Conrad Voigtvir, who stands at his side. His completely mutated turquoise eyes flash on seeing you. He flinches, but remains silent, hesitant to interrupt the ritual. Try this. Observe the sinister sorcery. Oh, succeeded. Just. You feel the strings of the surreal force emanating from the sorcerer's fingers and wrapping around the enormous disc of the drill. He's feeding sacred batteries with his profane magic as if it were a motive force, subjugating the tech priest's creation to his will. The sorcerer does not turn his head as his voice rolls over the room. I see you, mortal thing. I sense your meek mind. The sorcerer reluctantly turns his burning gaze upon you. So you are the one who is so eager to meet me and your own demise. Rejoice, brother Twilight. Today you become the new rogue trader. Voigtvir's deformed features twist into a bloodthirsty smile. Yes, master. I will rectify my mistake and reclaim what was stolen. Examine the machine. The platform beneath the sorcerer's feet is the drilling machine's massive tunneling shield. This mighty mechanism can gnaw through underground rock, bunker and bulkheads reinforced with adamantine, or anything else that may lurk in the planet's depths. The corrupted servants of the Deus Mechanicus scuttle around the heretic, muttering twisted prayers of ignition in attempts to persuade the omniscient majestic beast to awaken and rend the world's flesh. Address the sorcerer. Do you have a name? Or shall I simply refer to you as the heretic? You know my name well. I'm Orland the Cool, breaker of misbelievers, truth speaker, triumphator of faith, dark apostle of the blessed word-bearers legion. Kneel and offer a prayer of gratitude for your death could not bear a worthier name. Cabela's earnest laughter resounds through the shaft. She wipes her eyes, ignoring the looks of bewilderment. You? Death? Oh, undying emperor. Ran over some sarcasm there, but actually genuine. You must have been preoccupied with something profoundly important if you paid no heed to me obliterating your army. Death for the glory of the true gods is a blessed fate for any believer, so why should I rob them of it? Every martyr who perished in their name only empowers their reign. I was tasked with a different mission, to make the Koronus Expanse behold the sheer impotence of its most eminent protector. Once Calcazar's treasure has been stolen, his secret hoards plundered, and his name shamed, the dogs of the false emperor will see the truth. No one will protect them. No one will heed their pleas. Only by bowing to the masters at the Imperium will they earn the right to live. What's his treasure you covet so terribly? I will keep this from you so that you may perish in the darkness of ignorance. Pathetic. Your master didn't even tell you the reason why you seem to face your death. And neither will I make this poisoned cup any easier to drink. If you're so confident in your victory, then what are these secrets for? Very well. Kneel and pledge yourself to the true gods of the warp. The great revelations are a reward for the faithful. It gestures at you imperiously. Thorvald nods at his weapon. I doubt you intend to obey, but I would still advise against it. Voidvir, what the devils are you doing here? Voidvir cocks his head sharply like a bird and laughs mockingly. I'm on a path to greatness, Jellybobs. We power up, of the kind you and Theodore could only dream of. The edge of daybreak promised to weave me a truly remarkable fate. You're on a path to your own death, nothing more. You've almost reached the end. An empty threat. I have the upper hand this time. In my next prayer to the Dark Gods, I will thank them for letting me just try another rogue trader of the Ron Valancius line. If only you knew what powerful weapon awaits us down below. With it, we make the entire expanse. Enough, Brother Twilight. Your lips will not speak a word more than 'tis a heathen's place to hear. Ignorance is their cloister. Let them remain trapped there. No more words, Thorvald. We must stop him. The wolf lets out a chilling howl. His pack ready with their weapons to acknowledge him. It is an unequivocal order to kill. With a solemn gesture of his hands, Ulan thundered in fury. Let those who blaspheme against the true gods beg forgiveness in vain. Let their lips be sealed. Let their hands be severed. Let their souls be reaped and scourged. Bye. You will run off now and get killed. Two battle wolves. Do not allow the malefic enemy's spite. Ron Valancius, find cover before you lose your head. A glorious fight awaits. Take heed with the silver-tongued traitor, who is old, sly and strong. But, my dear father, the wolves will spill rivers of his blood today. The rhythmic display of profane sorcery appears to have filled Thorvald with joy, anticipation, rather than fear. You feel a sinister grin blossom somewhere beyond your reason's edge. The familiar voice intrudes upon your train of thought again. Blood will be spilt indeed, but the war is mistaken as to its source. Allow him to relish that lie born out of ignorance. Allow him to believe that the dark apostle will fall by his hand, and yours. My hours draw near. I will appear again, one last time, when the moment comes to make your mouth speak with the voice of the truth. Say nothing. All the thoughts clear out of your mind. You know the things they spoke of are true. They will be back one last time at the crossroads of fate, but you will have to make the choice that decides everything. So, ready to hunt some heretic? Have you encountered Uvalon before? No, or else his head wouldn't still be attached to his neck, but my pack has heard plenty about his strength and ignominious misdoings. One can see the evidence of his malefactions all across the Koronus Expanse, like bear tracks upon fresh snow. We stalked him and looked for a chance to clamp our jaws around his throat, but the craven knows well how to hide behind the backs of his heretical lackeys. What manner of witchcraft was he attempting back there? He wished to wake the tunneling behemoth. If you hunger for my thoughts, all on is searching for something down below, and you might manufacture his deepest holes. My warriors destroyed the energy fount, furnished the drill, but the detestable malefic still found a way to revive it with its heinous magic. Another blasphemy, though too many to count now. Pascal's dry voice is rattling like a heavy vehicle's chain track. His visor lights up a blinding green, then blue. You hear a metallic moan coming from everywhere, so the manufactorum itself is being tortured. What's he after? What's he trying to unearth? He just told us. Do not know. Didn't ask, for I know not myself. Kalkazar treats his allies like a Fenrisian mushroom farmer treats his produce. Keeps them in the dark and feeds them shit. Didn't see fit to enlighten us about the secrets of Eufrates II, but 'tis no matter. Whatever it is, we mustn't let the loathsome malefic claim it. I will deal with him. You're a brave one, and not easily deterred. Good. Now find a way to reach the tunnel platform, or we'll give the mangy sorcerer something to worry about. The wood exchanged glances with his warriors. You could swear they all smiled anticipation inside their helmets. Holgrant, you stick to the original plan. Take two brothers and go after Doomscreen. Our scouts report they took refuge here in these depths after being defeated in battle on the approach to the Machine Cathedral. I want to take the unholy tin can that holds his traitorous brain back to Fenris, but hunt him. I won't fail you. Eager spaceman lets out a hunger and howl and a shitty poem. Whom do you send your brothers after? A mortal foe lurks in the den of this heresy, a hellbrute by the name of Doomscreen, an ancient and vicious traitor. He barred our approach when we advanced on him, and I killed him. Well, drove him off. Barred our advance when we approached the Machine Cathedral. I felled hundreds of brave champions. A terrible wound he took, but the beast still escaped our grasp. Well, not yours, mine. 'Tis time we cornered him and ended his vile existence. How do I get to Uvalon? That's for you to sniff out. Perhaps there's a way around. We'll give you enough time to look. For the Emperor, watch yourselves. Hide under us, jellybobs. Fenris shoulder. Hey. Halfway through there and full heretical. Now power from beyond the veil. All weapons on the battlefield become warp and imbued for 1 round. Gains bonus damage equal to 5 times veil degradation percent, an additional 5 times veil degradation armor pen. Can only be used once per combat. It's good for an Alpha Strike. But it also applies to us as well. So, yeah. Can't else we can all dodge. My voice is struggling, and luckily there's 50 minutes, so I'm safe here. Next episode, I get my voice together, and then we enter the Machine Cathedral of Euphrates II. Thanks for watching, everyone, and hope to see you the next time. Bye for now.